All righty. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. All right. It is slim this morning, probably because I put out that there's going to be a 7:10 start. Sometimes these things take about 5 minutes to go out. Yesterday, it was like, for the benefit of the people that click on later, yesterday it was like one or two of us in here until like, I don't know, I think it was like, it got all the way to 20 minutes before it filled up. But it is what it is, right? And so if there's good material, I'm gonna try to hold it back without quenching the spirit. But luckily for people clicking on later, um, it usually takes me a while to warm up. Is not that I'm trying to, but just that like it takes a while before something in my spirit takes over, And so I wanted to make the focus today about Jesus, because many different people with many different views will tell you that Jesus is the answer to everything, and that's right, you know. Um, I'm just hearing a lot of weird stuff, here in recent times with people that like I've known for a very long time, and it's like getting to a point where people are like exploring other things, right? As if it's like some kind of innocent thing, um, exploring other religions and other beliefs. And so I'll tell you what really helped me out was Rob Skiba, which he's not my favorite pastor. He's gone now. Rest in peace. But he he did this breakdown, right, of the Tower of Babel. You know, everybody was at that point, right, against God. Except Abraham. And so, like, all these people got split all over the world with all these different languages. And there's all these different names for, this God that they were following, which at the time, their king was Nimrod. And so there's all these different names for like deities, Apollo, Zeus, Helios, all these fallen spiritual whatever, right? It's the same. It's all different names for Nimrod, right? And so like it makes it easy to know, okay, well, hey, I'm not going to get involved with things like, um, you know, these ancient religions from the Far East, right? They're not as ancient as we think, and stay away from all these religions that came out of basically. I mean, there's a lot of weird ones that came out of Israel, Um, and so like there's really not that many there's really not that many groups of things to stay away from, but it's all Satanism, man. It's all Satanism. And so I have some different verses about Jesus, about staying focused on him, right? And so when there's a few more people in here, I figure it'll be probably about another 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, see if people are starting to get the notification now. Probably be another minute before there's like five in here. And then I'll start like I want to read some verses about Jesus. But like I was saying in the first part, that people might be coming in and they may have missed the first 5 minutes. You didn't miss much. I was just talking about, you know, it's probably not a good time in history to be you know, exploring other religions, right? Other faiths, right? Here in the end times. And so I was just mentioning that, like, there was a pretty good teaching on the Tower of Babel that, like, really saved me from following those rabbit holes. Because even though when Flat Earth, okay, so I was already a Christian, already loved God, right? That's what I thought of myself at the, you know, before I found out the Earth was flat. That's what I would have identified as. And when flat Earth, right? When I learned the Earth was flat, then that's when, like, my faith just, like, it was like times 1,000. So you can call it whatever you want, but life was definitely different after that. Like, life was all about God, right? But there was like a small part of me that's like, well, you know, I want to go down these rabbit holes, right? Of like which God, right, is you know, I wanted to study all of them. Why do these people believe this stuff, right? And really, if it doesn't really take that much scrutiny before you find out that it's all Satanism. It's all like there's Jesus, and then there's being Antichrist. That's it. There's two camps. And so there's like little nice things about each of these other things, right? It's like, oh yeah, you know, this is pretty good poetry or some kind of good philosophy, or hey, these people, they like Jesus too, or you know, but not in a life-saving way, right? Not where um you know, the children of God can profit from the truth, because you know, Jesus even says that the truth will set you free. If you get all the way to the truth, then you'll be free, man. There's no joke. Hey, what's going on, John? I'm glad that you're back, man. I'm glad you're back, man. God is good, right? God is the truth. God is the way, right? I love how Jesus equates himself to these things, right? He's equal to the truth. That's a big statement, right? That means that the truth, it goes backwards too, you know? And I love that about Jesus, right? He's like, it seems like he's just everything good. And my favorite part, Matthew Hall says, even if the earth turned out to be a globe, Flat Earth woke me up to researching historically verifiable information about Christ, led me further into faith. Yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, I think the last thing that I needed to believe, like, I already loved God. I already, there was already something real about it for me. I, I wanted God to be real. You know, I thought that he was, but something about Flat Earth just sealed it. Like, where it was like, wow, there's no doubts anymore. There's no doubts anymore. And it's not that, like, you know, God is like a part of my life or whatever. God became my whole life at that point. Like, there was nothing else. It's like, wow, the best thing that I want to happen is happening. It was like winning the lottery. It was like better than that. I mean, it's one thing to find out that something's true. Like, wow, something's true and it's going to benefit us, and God really does care about us, that kind of thing, right? And that's awesome news, right? For anybody. But to already want it to be true before, you know what I mean? It's like, it's I can't explain the feeling, you know. And do I feel like that, like, maybe before 2017, that I was less of a Christian? I don't know, maybe, right? But I know that in 2012, I really got a lot of help from God to, like, get over my addictions and stuff. Like, I knew God was with me. But it's nothing like it is now, like, where it's a constant contact with God, you know? I don't know. I just I'm just excited, right? I'm just excited to see what's next, right? Things are falling into place out there. And I think Bubba said it best in a text message yesterday. He said for a lot of people the world is falling apart, but like if like for us, if you know what's going to happen, it's all falling into place, like almost perfectly the way it says in the Bible. I mean, it's like because I used to think that the elite people were like maybe using the Bible as a playbook, or 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 they you know, I don't know, right? But now I'm thinking that, like, you know, life was created by God. This is the way it's gonna happen, and whether they are in on it or not, they're following what God has written for them, you know. And it's like they have to do it exactly the way God says it, because He said it's gonna happen that way, and it's just so perfect, right? You're like, why don't they avoid doing it like that? Like, why don't they try to be more sneakier or something, you know? And I don't think they can. I think there's rules to this place where we're safer than we think, you know. Matthew says exactly that for me. The main thing as a want in life is to make it into the heavenly afterlife. Kind of weird thing to want. The only thing in life to be the correct death. Yeah, I know it. I know it. Well, but think about this, right? Like um before I started to believe, right? Well, even when I was a believer, I would say I know this is confusing, right? Because I have different variations of faith, right? I mean, where it's like drastic differences. So if it sounds confusing what I'm saying, right? I'm sorry. And I remember things like in chunks. I don't remember things linearly, like how long ago things really were. And so I may be confusing, but I I used to think of things like how much time do I have left to live, or what kind of job do I have, or am I successful? How's my health? Like these types of things, right? Like uh, am I it, you know, compared to my brother, am I successful? You know, dumb stuff like that I used to think about when you know, now I don't think about that at all. I think about what you're saying, Matthew, right? I'm waiting for the right death to get out of here. And I don't worry about how long I have left, or trying to cling on to life, or trying to look younger, right? Uh, you know, I don't think about aging or any of that, or trying to stay young. None of that. It's not important anymore. Yay, Rob, what's up, my brother? I knew that if I started later, right, I would see you more, man. And that is just one of the best benefits of this, man. Because I'm thinking, I know I said it for 7:10, and I'm sorry that I did go a little bit early, and because I'm trying to like push it to 8 o'clock for me, so that would be like, you know, 11 on the East Coast, which I think is a good time for everybody. Um, so it'll take me a while to get to that point. And yeah, and so Rob says this world and Satan want us to focus on worldly materialistic things, which end up leading us away from God. Yeah, you know. And like I think I said it yesterday, that like it made sense to me in a way that you either become one with the world, right, which is like this, you know, kind of monk meditation way of just assimilate with the world completely and be in the moment, and that becomes your reality. You know, there is no, you know, there's nothing else. Or you separate from the world, right, which you can feel the exact same amount of relief from, but you also know that you're on the right side of it. But the problem is, right, is that we want to bring people with us outside of it, and a lot of people are resistant to that. And we want our mom and our dad and our brother and our, all of our friends to follow us outside of this, separate from the world, where we're kind of watching it like a movie unfold. And thanks a lot, John. I really appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's all glory to God, right? Because I wouldn't be able to stick with this if it wasn't like, if I wasn't called and led to do this, there's no way that there's no way I'd be able to do this 2 times a day, every day, with no days off, And so I'm grateful that God uses me for anything. Because like what's great about learning the truth about God is that you fit into your purpose, right? You start doing things that are like what you're created to do, spread the news, love God, know that you're here for him, right? Form that relationship with him. It's almost better to fit somewhere into your purpose than it is to feel good like on a beach somewhere just chilling, right? Like just to know where you belong is such a good feeling, right? And it feels like watching a movie. That's right, Rob. I think I said it last night too. See, I think we're like starting to get really connected. Where, okay, Stephanie sent me a verse this morning about our thoughts, right? Like our thoughts, kind of creating our reality. I don't know. It was something similar to that. I can't remember. Here, let me see what it was. I'll read it. And I was thinking the same thing. Like, I mean, I was thinking the same thing. And it was from 2 Corinthians. Hold on a second. Okay, it says we demolish our what is it? Okay, we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. And that's it, man. Like seeing if your thoughts are fruitful, because I know that thoughts create feelings and create like what I'm gonna do, my actions, right? And God knows that. Like if we make every thought obedient to God, and we know that we're separate from the world, I mean that's pretty big information. Like that's the kind of like, and that's like being enlightened, where these false religions would call that being enlightened or whatever. And so, I know someone's gonna misquote me on that, right? But I mean, of course, we're, I mean, completely subjected to God, and it's my pleasure to be that way. And I I mean, it's like unbelievable to think that he wants us, right? Forever. Not just wants us, but he loves us. Like we're his idea, exactly the way we're supposed to be, right? Because he made us this way, down to the he even told us, right? He knows the hairs on our head. He knows every detail. So it's not like he skipped any, right? This is exactly what we're supposed to be, and he loves us. And it's baffling to me, because like I don't feel like I'm worthy of that, right? And I know a lot of us don't. But it's his business to feel that way or not, right? Like, I mean, who am I to say what's good and what's not? It's better if I let God define that for me anyway. Because like when you see people that don't have God, right? Let's say they're just regular kind of decent people, right? To the world standards, and they're talking about laws, right? Like even something sensitive like the abortion law, right? There'll be all these variations of, well, how many months or how many this or what, there'll be like 20,000 different, ways to look at it from their perspective, right? And for us, right, it's simple, right? Because we let God define that for us. We don't have to have an opinion. It's already decided. And so we get clear answers to things, and they have all these different variations and codes, and like if you look at all the laws that are just out there, it's just insane, man. There's no way. Like I know that like there's people that like. Now I'm not like one of these people that's big on the law, but uh, there's 600 and something laws or whatever in the Old Testament, and it's. I mean, look at the world, man. The world is like thousands of laws, man. Like, there's no way to remember all that. But Jesus said that if you love God and love your neighbor, then you won't even need the law, right? If you love somebody, you're not going to hurt them, you know. Yeah, we're perfect. We are made perfect by Him in His eyes. I mean, is that amazing? Like I can't imagine. I can't imagine ever. Like I mean, it's just so amazing, right? Oh, I'm glad you just woke up, Michael. We were talking about your favorite guy. My favorite guy too. I just like I think of him because like this is what I think about a lot because I already know Jesus as God, right? I already have that relationship with Him. But now like trying to picture Him like on earth walking around like you and me, like 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 you know, I would protect Him from everything, man. I wouldn't let nobody get near Him. You know what I mean? I probably would be like Peter with the sword, you know? I wouldn't want anybody to get near Him to the point where I'm like in the way, you know? And I think about him, right, our favorite guy. That's right. And I'm a big fan. You could say that. I'm a big fan. But but yeah, it's like so remarkable, right? But I think about him like being hungry or wanting to take a nap, being tired, or he did experience those things that we have to go through, and he did that for us. He did that for us, you know. It's like we needed a perfect sacrifice. We needed a perfect lamb, and God would be completely within His rights to say, okay, one of you guys has to do it. Somebody here on earth has to live perfect and take one for the team. But He didn't ask us to do it. He provided Himself a lamb, right? That's what I always wondered why it was like worded that way. And when Abraham was taking Isaac up to sacrifice him, and God didn't say, because it was actually a ram that was up there, but He didn't say He provided for him a lamb. He said He provided Himself a lamb. And I always wondered if it was like worded that way because of that He was the lamb. But I just saw it recently on Pastor Gene Kim, and he described it a different other way. But I always thought it was like, because I mean it's just so amazing. Rob says, I find myself people watching sometimes and I'm like outside in. Look, yeah, you're right. It's like watching a movie, man. Like I'm on a totally different journey than most. Yeah, well, we are, man. Like, I hate to say it like that because you want everyone to, I mean, anyone could be right here, right? It's offered to everybody. But they have to know that right here is where they want to be. They don't know, you know? Or maybe they don't want it. But it is interesting when you start to realize that some things just aren't real. Nothing is real out there. They believe in a world that isn't. That's not reality. We are gonna go to reality soon, and they're in a fantasy world, right? That's history's not true. None of it. Like now, I'm starting to think there's not even like an outline or parameters. I don't even know if George Washington's real anymore, right? Like even that stuff sounds made up. I don't know how people got rich before I was born, you know? I mean, it all could be a sham, right? And it's just, yeah, we're nothing special. In fact, I might even be lower than the average. You know what I mean? Like the average dude. I mean, I guess you could say. I mean, I mean, it's hard to even say positive. I was never like a boastful person anyway, and it makes me cringe. But like I guess I was a nice guy, you know, really nice guy. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you know, I don't know. I would say that, yeah, I was a kind of a failure, you know, if you compared to the world. But now that I see things for the way they are, I feel like, wow, this is exactly where I need to be. And like spiritually, I'm way ahead of where I thought I would ever be. And you know, in life, I'm never going to match up to the standard of success because you know, I knew this, right? When I was a kid, I knew I was never going to be rich because I saw Jerry Jones was talking about, like, I don't know, he spread some rumor about a serial rapist when he was trying to buy property, and he saved $14 million. He was proud of this. He said it on TV, like in front of everybody. It put people in fear just to lower the real estate. So like I knew that I was never going to be rich because I can never do that. Like there's a certain level of I mean, to some people there's no difference between a shrewd business deal and screwing somebody over. And that's a big deal for me. Yeah, I never really clicked either, Rob. Man, I mean, you're just saying everything that I'm feeling, man. I know, man. What I mean, but what went wrong? You know, like I know, okay, fall in the garden, and then you know, you let sin in here, and then you know, if we don't resist Satan, and we're falling for all these traps as a people, as far as TV and food and all this stuff, right? I get it, right? But like, what went wrong, man? Like, can't we just be nice to each other? You know, I mean, and here's the thing, right? Like, I keep wanting the standard to be lower and lower and lower so more people can make it. But I mean, how could it be any more simple than just like accept the gift of grace, you know? Accept the gift of grace. And, you know, after that, what? Love each other and don't do any evil? I could do that. You know, I can't imagine right now living another way. Like if I had to go back to being who I was like 10 years ago, there's no way, man. Like I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable being like that. I used to go in and try to buy like designer shirts that cost like, you know, $50 shirt. Like for what, man? You know, for who? But for some reason, I thought I needed that. I mean, isn't that ridiculous? When, you know, when you stop watching TV and you stop thinking of like the world, it doesn't even matter what you have on anymore. Yeah, do all things with charity. Yeah, I love that, John. I love that. I mean, I wish I had money to give people. I really don't. I mean, I try to give a buck here and there if I can, but it's really about time, right? Time and effort and listening to people. And, you know, ask Michael. Sometimes I can't even fit everybody in, but I love listening to people. And, you know, I do feel bad when I can't get to everybody. I mean, I used to have a whole lot of help, but, you know, everyone wants to, I mean, I can't say. I don't want to get in. I don't want to, but, you know, there's a lot of good people that, like, have, I would say everybody's good, but, like, or everybody's not good. Either way, we're equal. But, like, there's been a lot of helpful people that have really helped me out. I never would make it without them. And so, hey, Michigander, what's going on, my brother? So this is the new. I've seen this symbol now 3 times, right? So it's a sun with an arm. Is that like just like a happy day, or is this like some kind of like, I don't know? You know how I am with symbols, right? That kind of stuff freaks me out, man. All right, Rob says, yes, you will never fill that void with designer shirts or alcohol. Yeah, forget about it, you know? Only Jesus fills that emptiness. Yeah. And right, I'm a recovering alcoholic too. I mean, I like to think that I'm saved completely from it, but I also know I can go back to it. It's not something um that I if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, it could easily come back. And I'm grateful for this reprieve that God has given me, you know. And so yeah, I agree, Rob. Outstanding. Only time I've ever really been bothered about expensive clothing was years ago when I worked in a factory with hot oils. It was only because I didn't want to be boiled like a lobster in an accent. Well, I get that, right? If you need to buy some kind of suit to like, you know, keep you from boiling and like a lobster. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't think that that's it's okay to spend a couple extra bucks, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's okay anymore, to be honest. John says, if you ever need any of you, please let me know. I want to help from my heart. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, just staying connected. Like, even when the group is around like 10 to 15 people, it's still like for the live groups, it's still hard to keep on top of everybody. And then there's, you know, the people that click on after. And there's even people that have left the show that I'm still working with, you know, but they just won't come back here. And so it is what it is, right? Praise his name forever, right? Because like without like I mean that's just like, why didn't we know the truth from the beginning? Why didn't we know the truth from the beginning? If we would have known about Jesus when we, you know, were born and just always knew that, and not just knowing him, but like knowing the truth about his character and who he is, and you know what kind of you know what kind of characteristics and spiritual fruit that he had that we could maybe, you know, try to match up, you know, what would Jesus do type of thing, right? And you know, I mean, as children, that would be so great to learn to be like that, to be patient and forgiving and that kind of thing, right? I see one accident where a guy's hand was like a deep fried chicken. Oh man, that is just, so his hand landed in like some kind of hot oil. See, that makes me kind of man, that would be a horrible injury, because I like every time I've been like had a burn injury, it's always been like the worst pain, man. It was like the worst. And I don't think people understand just how bad burns could really be. I mean, I guess you could be desensitized to it if you're a cook. You know, you get a burn here and there on your hands, you know, often enough to where it's just annoying. But any kind of burn injury is just so painful. Yeah, absolutely, John. You know, absolutely. And so we even have a Skype group. Well, it's not as good as it used to be. We used to have bigger personalities in there, like kind of making it go. And it's something that I couldn't really watch because it would beep nonstop. It would just beep nonstop. And so I had to turn off my I had to turn off the, what do you call it, the beeper or whatever, so that lets me know when a message is in. And so yeah, if you wanna join the Skype group and just kind of like be in there, that'd be cool. And then you're connected to everybody. There's like 40 people in there. I don't know who's left in there. Probably some people left. Says a giant vat. Oh wow, that's horrible, Matthew. Come on, man. Like that. Come on. I get it, man. I get it. Yeah, yeah, I get it. But he saved. Okay, so like, did he lose his hand? Oh, he did lose his hand. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. And Yeah, it could be a very, very bad injury. Yeah, burns hurt so bad. I'd rather be shot than a burned, you know? I mean, it's kind of the same. It's kind of a burn too. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather not be. I'd rather not any of that stuff happen to me. I'd rather none of that stuff happen. Um, yeah, definitely a safety, right, Rob? Like if you have to buy like a some kind of suit so you don't fall in the in. So what? Like the whole thing was like hot oil or something like that, and you had to work around it. I would be praying constantly if I had to. Like you could fall in there. I mean, is that what oh, if it's big enough to hit your whole body, I mean, wow. I don't think anyone could pay me enough to work around that. I don't think. Yeah, you're giving yeah, I'm gonna get nightmares, man, for sure, you know? Because just thinking about that. But there's a lot of jobs, I guess, that are like that we don't think about that are probably very difficult to do that most people wouldn't do. Because like I learned that okay, so my dad, right, he was a big guy, and so he always was able to get like warehouse jobs, even though he wasn't a very reliable person, and you know, he was a drinker and he did drugs too a little bit. And so like he always got jobs doing physical labor because, you know, he could always do more than everybody. And so what I learned was is that when you do jobs that are physical labor, you have to do a lot of physical labor. Like if a new guy came, could never do what a person that's been working there 10 years could do. It's almost an impossible amount of work, you know? And you're like, wow, I got to bust my butt every day, you know? And there's jobs that don't pay a lot that are really hard. And I mean, you got to think of like digging for coal or any kind of job like that, right? It's got to be just so hard, man. Or building like railroad tracks, right? That's hard work. Swinging a sledgehammer. But see, I guess that's, you know, men back then were like more tough, you know? I mean, that's kind of what happens to society, right? We you start out tough, you win your freedom, you take more land, then you start putting a wall around what you got. Then you start getting into art, getting soft, and then you start losing wars, you know, then you're out. So will I respond to Pig at all? Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, he was on here before. He was talking about Paul wasn't a real apostle or something like that. Yeah, it wasn't very strong. I'm sure there's stronger arguments for it. I don't even know. Okay, Matthew says, I don't even know fully what that machine did, but I know it cleaned and prepared different oil. We're still on this thing. Good wages, but the environment was too hot. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, the world wants to make men into ladies, right? That's exactly what it is. Like people get too soft, like Shakespeare. Yeah, everyone's running around in tights. Next thing you know, there's nobody left to fight the wars anymore. And so it is what it is, you know. Can't wait for him to come back though. Can't wait for God to come back. I'm glad this is just a stop, you know, like a almost like a meaningless vapor, you know. Because I don't know, like, could you imagine wanting to like live forever in this fallen state? Like, you know, obviously with sins gotten in here. Yeah, I've had him on the panel. The world, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I couldn't imagine wanting to live forever in this fallen state. So what hopefully you hear him out. Peace out, yo. About what, Paul not being a good apostle? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's a better case than what he's making for it. But I mean, that's like once you decide the Bible is the only truth you have, and then you say, okay, well, part of it isn't true. Well, then how do you trust any of it? Like, how do you trust any of it? And then you can't explain how, like, okay, like verses Paul wrote, like, come true in real time. And so, yeah, I've had him on a couple times. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Yeah, man, in tights, right, right. That's where the world is, man. I mean, look, like, I mean, I know God says to separate from the world, right? There is no side that they're not running, right? They're on the good side and the bad side, if you want to call any side good. It's controlled opposition for us to all kill each other. But like, even if there was, I mean, there's nobody that's willing to resist anymore, you know? Well, yeah, Clutch, I agree, but like, it's obvious though when it's poetry or allegory or symbolism, it's obvious that that's what it is. There's no, like, it's not like some puzzle or something like that where it's all clear what it is. I think even Judas was an apostle for at least, yeah, right. Yeah, but yeah, that's crazy. So wait, Judas betrayed him. He never denied Christ was. That's true, right? Yeah, definitely, right? Because so you're saying that even Judas recognized him as God, right? As the Lord. That's interesting right there. Duck, I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't make sense to me. About Michael? I don't know. I don't know what you got going on with Michael. I just, I don't know. I know that what's his name? I tried to have him on here. He doesn't make much sense, and he doesn't make a very good case. Uh, well, I won't tell you about him, but yeah, obviously not a good case for what he's trying to say. Oh well, I feel happy that you feel good to be included. Yeah. Well, Jesus did promise that we would be the America's most hated, right? I think people hate that, like, you know, Jesus paid the full price, right? Paid the price for our salvation. And that there's a lot of grace involved with that. And you have to accept more people making it than you want, you know? And I hope everybody makes it. Every little creature that could possibly make it, that qualifies, I want them to make it. And if it could be any easier, if it could be automatic, I would want that too. I mean, if I could give my will and my life to God right now and say, just take me over, just like have me do only good things that you want, and not only that, but like make me want to do them, like all of that. And so I don't know. I if I could be better for God, then that's what I want to be. And I don't think, like, as a man that makes mistakes, that I could do that. It's really about that next level when we're incorruptible, or when we're glorified, right? That we can really, really be good up there and not even have like the temptation or desire to sin, right? Sin is like this horrible disease that got in here and is just destroying everything. And there's not enough people resisting sin now, right? And nobody's perfect, right? Like nobody's better than anybody else in history, right? Like we have all made huge mistakes, right? And so I'm just grateful we have the God that we have, right? Instead of punishing us or getting rid of us or starting over, he punished himself, right? Like he took his own wrath upon himself. And there's nothing more loving than that, than to lay down your life for. I mean, that's what I would do for my own kids. And so to know that, like, not only did he do that, but that he wanted to do that, and he loved us during it. And so it's just amazing, right? It says, I see people are jealousy. We all make our choices to care, to be in the know, and to know God, or not care, pray for our neighbors. Right. We really should be there for each other, right? If there's two Christian people, there's absolutely no way that an argument could last more than a day. If people are holding grudges, that's something wrong. I mean, we got to get into the heart and like really work on that. Because it's like sometimes it's about being right, and sometimes it's about being right with each other, you know? Yeah, right. He says, wait. He mentioned that you yell over peeps when they call you out. No. Mm-mm. So they don't fully accept or understand. Yeah, exactly. It's not hard just to read what it says in there and just believe it. And so like now I don't even give advice to people, you know, like I'm not even going to define it for myself anymore. If you want to be saved, read everything in there about salvation and go straight to God and ask him for guidance. And if you're honestly seeking God, he's there's absolutely no way he's not going to help you do that. Not the God I know. And so I believe every word of that Bible exactly the way God wants me to know it. And I lean on his understanding because I'll never get it perfect, right? Well, okay, leave the door open because we can do all things with Christ. But without God anyway, you can't do it, you know? That's right. Go to the Lord. Every time you're uncomfortable about your own salvation, or you're worried, or you're scared, or you're afraid you don't have it right, go straight to God. That's it. Forgive us, Father, for we know not what we do. Yeah, I know, John. Well, Clutch, you don't have to be here, man, if that's what you think. All right. Alrighty, guys. Well, it is time to hit the old dusty trail. And so I will say, well, you know, I want to say a little prayer before we end here. Father God, I want you to protect what's true and what's right. I want you to only bless me if we're doing right here at this channel. And so I want to reach people and bless people and have the absolute best intentions, right? And so God, help me to desire your will, not my own, but your will. Help me to understand things your way, God. Please let me face the things and challenge myself on the things that you would like me to challenge myself on. Father, take everything out of me and have me just do your will. And so I pray for a hedge of protection around the people here, and I thank them for coming. And I am just so grateful. And I pray for anything that's demonic or antichrist to have no effect on us. And I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All righty, guys. I hope that I hope you had a good time, guys. I know, exactly. Well, hey, that's the best part about this is that Jesus watches all the time, right? So it's I mean, that makes everything easy, right? He sees what's going on. I don't have to worry about that. Alrighty. Alrighty, guys. Well, hey, Alex, how you doing? And yeah. So, oh, hey, Carl, what's going on? Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, praise Jesus, right? Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. I always feel like it makes me feel happy to know that, like, that at least somebody's benefiting from, somebody's benefiting from, this kind of stuff, because I'm just really grateful that God's using me. Like, without that, I mean, there really is, there's nothing else about me that's special at all. In fact, I'm probably below average at everything. Thanks, Rob. I really appreciate it. All right. Alrighty, guys. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory to God because he deserves it. Please pray for the children. Please pray for anyone being victimized out there. And please pray for each other. It's important. And I will see you guys, Lord willing, tonight at 5 p.m. God bless you.